So then, Mrs. Brown's Boys Series 4 2023 finally come, the 4 miniseries that we had all been waiting for. I don't even know where to start. I mean, what am I going to say about it? Well, I'm sure you all know Mrs. Brown's Boys is my favourite TV show. I've been loving it since 2021. It's a great show, yeah. And the movie in 2014, well, that didn't really impress me too much, but it's not the worst movie in the world. There was a few scenes that made me laugh, and it's not a bad film at all. It's just, you know what I mean, but it's not one that I'd enjoy. And well, for this one, I was expecting it to be good. I mean, I love Miss Brown's Boys and all that stuff, and there's just a lot to say that I don't really know, and I had a feeling that was going to be bad, and it didn't. It actually turned out to be really good. Yeah, and well, there was some of the later ones, like the 2020 Christmas specials, and some of the later ones hadn't really been that good, but I didn't see a problem with it. But Series 4, I think might have been better than some of those ones. I mean, they basically just did Series 1, 2, 3 until 2013 or 14, and they just kept doing Christmas specials and New Year specials. Some of them were good, I think, but I think my favourite episodes were probably the Christmas and New Year Eve specials from 2013. But for this one, I think they were just really good. I enjoyed them so much. I mean, Mrs. Brown's Boys has always just been one that I loved. I'm a big fan. I have calendars, I own nearly all the DVDs, I have the movie, I've got books, even a game down there that I got at a car boot sale. And I even have a Mrs. Brown's Boys ringtone. It's just great. I mean, Mrs. Brown is always going to be one of my favourite shows. When I did mention the movie, it is pretty bad. And well, last year in 2022, we did get a film called A Madea Homecoming. I'm not the biggest Madea fan, and well, with Tyler Perry, and since the film's going to Netflix, I saw Miss Brown. I was like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna watch that because it's got Miss Brown. And what do you know, that film was actually really good, and I thought it was better than the other Mrs. Brown movie. But if Brendan O'Carroll, the creator of Miss Brown and starring Mrs. Brown, well, I don't think he'll be watching this, but if he does, is there going to be a second Mrs. Brown movie? Because I would like to see that. I mean, by the time Miss Brown's Boys was created, that was in 2011, and I was only 5, I think, 4 and 5. Yeah, and it's just a good show, good series as well. And the original series, well, I have tried watching some of that, and it's just a struggle to get through. None of the original actors that I usually watch come to me. It's just not as good as I thought it was. I did have a few problems with it, but it's just, you know what it is. But I think there was maybe 1 or 2 scenes that made me laugh. I don't know. But hey, also I am looking forward to Christmas, because we usually get those annual Christmas / New Year specials. And well, by the time you're watching this, you'll probably get it as well. So if you guys own BBC iPlayer, you can just type in Mrs. Brown's Boys, and then there'll be some new series. Just go to Series 4 and you'll find 4 new episodes. But what were my opinions on the new episodes? Well, I think the first one will probably have to be my favourite one, then the 4th one, then the 3rd one, 2nd one being my least favourite. Well, the 2nd one did feel like my least favourite for some reason, but it's not bad, it's not. It just felt pretty good there. I mean, all the episodes were good and all, but I think the first one probably had to be the best one. I mean, it was just a good way to open up the series after 10 years of Christmas specials. Whether it would be about COVID or something else, I don't know. But I think that's what I have to say about Series 4 of Mrs. Brown's Boys. Let me know if you've seen it or not, because if you haven't, I wouldn't avoid trying to get to spoilers, because it's just such a good show.